get my back blown out in peace. You think I got time to talk about a divorce that's a year old?
I really don't care what happens to her at all. I don't care. Like, everybody they tiptoe around with this social media. But what y'all don't get is that it be real consequence for y'all little flexes, y'all quick flexes for $300 that you need. It be consequence.
Teyana never thought she'd find herself caught in yet another messy triangle, especially not one that would involve her ex, her new man, and the most vulnerable part of a man's ego. But life has a funny way of dragging the private into the public, especially when pain hasn't fully healed and emotions stay bubbling right beneath the surface. It all started as a normal, light-hearted moment, just a casual night on Instagram Live. She was smiling, sipping from her glass, scrolling through comments from fans, trying to show that she was unbothered, moving on, living her best life. But beneath that glow, there was something more simmering, a quiet frustration that had been building for months. Everyone had watched Teyana walk away from Iman. It wasn't just a breakup. It was years of loyalty, history, and silence in the face of rumors she never fully addressed. There were whispers of cheating, of emotional distance, of a man who wanted attention but didn't know how to give her his. And after all that, after everything they'd built, she had to walk away not because she wanted to, but because staying had started to chip away at her piece by piece. Erin came into the picture later. Not right away. She tried to take her time, tried to keep things low-key. But the moment people found out she was seeing someone new, the judgment began. From the outside it looked fast. Too fast. But no one really knew what she had been surviving in silence. Erin was the opposite of Iman in many ways. He was soft-spoken, attentive, a little shy even. And when he came into her life, it felt like a breath of fresh air. He wasn't flashy. He didn't chase headlines. And maybe that's what she needed. Someone who made her feel seen without needing to be seen himself. But the comparisons never stopped. Every post she made was dissected. Fans asked why she left Iman. They called Erin a downgrade. Some even accused her of faking her smiles. And through all that, she kept quiet. Until that night. The night that changed the entire energy around her name. The night she said something that couldn't be taken back. It started off as a fun Q&A on Live. She wore a silk headscarf, no makeup, just chilling at home. The vibe was chill, unfiltered, real. She laughed at comments, joked about cravings, and even teased fans about unreleased music. But then came the question that lit the fuse. Someone wrote, "Who's better in bed, Iman or Erin?" And for a second she paused. She tilted her head, squinted at the screen and smirked. Everyone watching thought she'd ignore it, or maybe just laugh it off. But she didn't. Instead, she leaned forward slightly and said, "Let's just say, Erin lasts longer." Then she laughed, leaned back, took another sip, and scrolled on like it was nothing. But by then it was too late. The internet had already clipped the moment. The damage, or depending on who you ask, the message was done. Within minutes, Twitter was on fire. Screenshots were flying. Blogs reposted it. YouTubers were already reacting in real time. People couldn't believe it. Some were stunned she even answered the question. Others said it was iconic, savage, petty, powerful. But everyone agreed on one thing. This wasn't random. This wasn't just a playful jab. It hit somewhere personal. And the timing couldn't have been worse. Because just days before, Iman had done an interview where he hinted that he still had love for her. He spoke respectfully, sure, but there was a sadness in his eyes that fans caught. "Sometimes you lose good people while figuring out who you are," he said. And many thought that was his way of saying he regretted how things ended. So when Teyana made that comment, it didn't just sound like shade. It felt like revenge. People started choosing sides. Some said Teyana had every right to speak her truth. That for years, she protected Iman's image while suffering behind closed doors. That if she wanted to throw one jab after all that silence, so be it. Others, though, weren't so forgiving. They called it tasteless. Said she stooped low. That bringing bedroom talk into the public was immature, even cruel. But what no one really talked about was how Erin felt about it. Behind the scenes, sources say Aaron wasn't amused. He may have been the one praised in that sentence, but he didn't enjoy being part of that kind of drama. He reportedly told a friend, "I'm not trying to compete with her ex. I just want to be enough for her now." And when the live ended and she saw the backlash building, Teyana knew she had crossed a line, not just with Iman, but with Aaron too. That night they had a quiet conversation. No yelling, just tension. He asked her why she said it. She tried to laugh it off, said it wasn't that deep. But he wasn't convinced. "Do you still care what he thinks?" he asked her. And she didn't answer right away, because the truth was complicated. It wasn't that she missed Iman. It was that some part of her still hadn't healed from what she went through with him. The emotional unavailability. The feeling of being second place to everything else. The loneliness of being in love with someone who didn't protect your heart when it mattered most. That pain didn't go away just because she moved on. And that night on Live, maybe that pain leaked out without her meaning to. Iman, for his part, didn't say anything publicly. But friends close to him said he was angry, embarrassed. Not because of what she said, but because of who said it. She could have said anything, one insider said. But she chose to go for his masculinity. That wasn't just a joke. That was personal. And it was. Teyana knew exactly what she was doing. She knew that in the world Iman lives in, ego is everything. And that comment wasn't just about bedroom talk. It was about power. She had spent years shrinking herself, dimming her light, and bending to his will just to protect his fragile ego and keep the peace between them. Every time she spoke up, she was met with resistance or indifference. So slowly, almost imperceptibly, she stopped asserting her own needs and desires. She became smaller, quieter, less visible, all to maintain a fragile balance that kept him comfortable. But then, in one bold, unexpected sentence, she flipped the entire script. For the first time, she refused to play the part she'd been handed. She reclaimed her voice, her power, her truth. And while that moment felt like a breakthrough for her, it came with a price. Aaron started pulling away almost immediately. At first, it was subtle. No more posts tagging her, no more shared photos or stories. Then the silence grew louder. He didn't post for days, didn't reply to messages, and the events they'd planned to attend together suddenly became solo appearances. The public noticed the shift, and rumors began swirling fast and furious. Whispers of a fight sparked by that live video spread like wildfire, fueling speculation that Aaron felt manipulated or like a pawn in a war he never signed up for. The narrative spun a picture of tension and heartbreak, with fans divided on who was at fault. Meanwhile, Teyana retreated into herself. She began reflecting deeply on everything, on her decision to speak out, on the years of compromise, and on the unintended pain she might have caused. She realized that sometimes, even while you're healing, you can still wound people who didn't hurt you. She didn't apologize publicly, that wasn't her style, but a few days later, she posted something subtle yet powerful, a quote that read, "Sometimes you laugh to stop yourself from crying. But the truth always lives beneath the jokes." It wasn't an explanation, nor a plea for sympathy, but it was enough to show her fans that this wasn't about ego or drama. It was about something much deeper. Pain, vulnerability, and the complex aftermath of reclaiming oneself. People immediately started speculating about whether she and Aaron were still together. Social media was buzzing with guesses. Some swore he had already walked away for good, vanished from her life and maybe from the city altogether. Others thought maybe they were just laying low, trying to avoid the spotlight until the storm blew over. But whatever the truth was, the vibe between them had undeniably shifted. The spark she'd carried just a few weeks ago seemed to flicker, then dim. Her usual bright energy was replaced by a quiet distance. The silence. It felt heavier, louder, like a thick fog settling in around her. And just like that, the world was watching her process her heartbreak live, unfolding in real time. But here's the thing. The story doesn't end with a neat, Instagram-worthy healing montage. Because healing, it's not always neat or pretty. Sometimes it's messy, unpredictable. Sometimes you lash out at the wrong people. Sometimes you say things in the heat of the moment that you don't actually mean, or even worse, things you do mean but probably should have kept buried deep inside. Teyana was learning that growth wasn't about being perfect or having a flawless comeback. It was about being brutally honest with herself, even when that honesty felt uncomfortable or exposed. The truth is, that comment she made, it came from a place of deep, simmering frustration. Maybe she hadn't planned to say it out loud. Maybe it just slipped in the chaos of emotions. But it wasn't just random words thrown into the void. It was years of silence breaking free. Years of swallowing her feelings to keep the peace, to protect something fragile. That night, after one too many glasses of wine and a flood of memories that still hurt like fresh wounds, she finally let it slip. And the world was there to catch it, watch it, and hold its breath. Iman may never respond. Or maybe he will months from now, in a song or interview where he pretends not to care. Aaron may forgive her. Or maybe he'll quietly walk away, deciding the drama isn't worth it. But either way, Teyana's learning to live with the weight of her words, to sit with the consequences of unfiltered moments, and to keep rebuilding herself piece by piece. 'Cause even queens make mistakes. Even strong women have weak moments. And sometimes, healing means saying too much before you learn how to say just enough.